Well, it all sounds a bit kind of not a bit confusing, and it's like I don't really know what to do for the best. What would you say, Julie?
Well,
what would you do? What would you do?
What you need to do is, you need to go and see your advisor.
Go and get your trip round the yacht, jump off and never come back.
Go and see, the starting point is to see, what we find with most people that we see is they've got little pockets of pensions all over the place.
Right.
They've got a bit when they work there, and they've got a bit when they were a teacher here, and they've got, so you need to see where everything is and get a grip on what you're going to get from it. You need to understand that it's not just a question of taking it out of the pension pot. You need to think of your pension more as a bank account that you can get income out of the most tax efficient way that you can. And what's happening, we're seeing this a lot at the minute. You've got people used to go to work at 16, work for 40 years in the same company, retire and get a pension.
Yeah.
Now everybody's disjointed. You've got pockets of stuff all over the place. You've got bits and pieces all over. People aren't really retiring.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of people. People aren't really retiring at a given age, so you're winding down a bit as you're getting older. Because people are living longer, 65 isn't old anymore.
No.
So you've got people going down to 2 or 3 days instead. So you've got to have a mind to what the tax situation is to figure out what the best way of accessing your money is.
How do you do that then?
Yeah, you go see your financial advisor. Because what you've got to do is, if you are going down to say 2 days a week at age 65, you've got going to have a gap in your income.
Yeah. Oh, you're bad shoulder.
No, it's the other one. It's the other one. So if you've got a gap in your income, you need to plug it from somewhere. Now, there's going to be various sources of income coming in. Your pension's going to kick in. Your state pension will kick in at some point. Why not access tax-free pockets of money from your pension fund at the time when you're a taxpayer, and save accessing the rest of it when you're not a taxpayer? So there's all sorts of things that you've got to consider that actually most people A, don't understand, and B, can't work out for themselves. So the best thing to do is go and see somebody like us. We gather all the information together. So this is what the pot's going to be. This is how you can access this. And more importantly, this is how you can make it last as long as you do.
And how do you find a good one? How do you suggest somebody? Because I think there is a lot of mistrust of the financial industry.
There is, and
so how do we find some
okay, well, we work really hard to get independent accreditations. So we have chartered status. Look for somebody that's chartered, because that denotes the very high standards of client care and ethical behaviour.
Yeah.
We have the Kite Mark BS 8577, and individually advisors can have what's called the ISO 222 accreditation, which is everybody is assessed externally to make sure they meet the high standards of these Kite Marks. So look for things like that.
Okay.
There are registers of financial advisors. Another thing that you can do is look for vouched for, and that's a website where you can go on and people review you and leave scores for, and you can put your postcode in, and it gives you.
Is there one website specifically for the financial industry?
Yeah, there's several. Vouch for is one that is.
So that is
vouchfor.com is the financial
okay.
one. There's findingadvisor.com, which is again, and there's unbiased.
Oh yeah, I think I've heard of that one.
Yeah, which they do financial advisors, lawyers, and accountants.
Okay.
But they're all accredited externally and vouched for by existing clients. So
that's really good to know.
The other thing that I would recommend that you do is speak to more than one.
Yeah.
Because it's all about relationships, and somebody might find I've got a very straight talking approach. Some people find that a bit blunt, and
really,
other people might want something a bit more a bit more formal, and a bit more calculated. So I would see who you get on with. Yeah. See who you get on with. It's all about relationships.
Yeah. Lovely.